Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Snowflake and Snowpark Python, episode 13 of 17. What do you do when your Python function needs to return an entire table of results instead of just one value? Standard user-defined functions are great, but they are strictly limited to returning a single scalar value per input row. When you need to explode a single input into multiple outputs, you build a user-defined table function, or UDTF. The difference is fundamental. A standard function gives back one value. A UDTF gives back a relation. This means it returns a tabular structure that you can query, filter, or join against other tables exactly as if it were a physical table in your database. Consider a concrete scenario. You have a table with a column containing highly nested custom JSON application logs. Each row holds one massive log entry, but that single entry might contain 5, 10, or 50 distinct system events hidden deep inside the JSON. You need to normalize this data programmatically. You want to pass in one JSON string and get back a structured table where every individual event is extracted into its own row. To build a user-defined table function in Snowpark Python, you do not write a standalone function. You write a Python class. This class acts as the handler for the table function and orchestrates the logic using up to 3 specific methods. First is the initialization method. This is optional. Snowflake runs it once per partition before processing any rows. If your log parser needs to compile a complex regular expression or initialize a custom state dictionary, you do it here, so the setup cost is only paid once per batch of data. Second is the process method. This is the only mandatory method in the class. Snowflake calls this for every single input row. In our logging scenario, the process method receives the JSON string, unpacks the array of events, and loops through them. This is where the conversion happens. Instead of returning a final value, the process method yields tuples. Every tuple it yields instantly becomes a new row in your output table. If one JSON log string contains 12 events, the process method yields 12 separate tuples, and Snowflake turns those into 12 distinct output rows. Third is the end partition method. This is also optional. Snowflake triggers it after all rows in the current partition have gone through the process method. You typically use this if you were aggregating state across the partition and need to yield a final summary row, or simply to clean up memory and resources. When you register this handler class in Snowpark Python, you must explicitly declare your output schema. Because a UDTF returns a table, the database execution engine needs to know the exact column names and data types of the tuples you are yielding before the query even runs. Here is the key insight. UDTFs bridge the gap between complex Python logic and relational database operations, allowing you to wrap messy procedural data nesting inside a clean table interface that the rest of your application can query natively. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time, take it easy.